Let's take a look at what's going on with Dogecoin today, guys. Alright, so here's what I'm looking at. Basically a falling wedge pattern that I'm kind of keeping track of right now. We have resistance, 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 giving me this top trend line, this resistance downtrend. If we could break this downtrend going to the upside, then maybe this falling wedge pattern can start performing. We also have support, support. So like I said, falling wedge pattern coming down, bouncing in between these two trend lines, getting tighter and tighter. If we could break this trend line going to the upside, the next spots that I'd be looking at is probably this resistance right here, because that's kind of where the falling wedge starts. It's possible that we break to the downside still, but that's kind of what I'm hoping, that we could break that resistance and move to the upside. If we break this trend line going down, the next spot that I'd be looking at is .185, the Fibonacci retracement level, the 78%. Yeah, 78% Fibonacci retracement level. And the way I got these that level is we had this big run. We started having trouble up here and we started moving to the downside. In that situation, when we think we topped out, we can drag from the bottom of the run to the top of the run, and then that gives me levels to watch as we go to the downside. And I've been dollar cost averaging at these Fibonacci retracement levels, something like that. Basically, if we break them going to the downside, then I look at the next one as a target. The other thing is, if we found support on it and started moving up, the next ones that I'd be targeting going to the upside are the next Fibonacci retracement levels going up. We did hold support on this .28, the 61%. Over here, we came down, found support, got a nice little bounce, then came down, found support on it again, but we actually broke through it. And I was saying in my last couple videos, if we break through this one going to the downside, I would be looking at this level, but we also have this support right here where we have this support, and this support. So it's possible that this line starts to come into play and we actually bounce off it instead of actually going all the way down. I do have a small limit order here. I've had it for a while, but I'm not super confident on that unless we break this support line going to the downside. If we do, then I'll be much more confident on this level. Right now, though, like I said, I've been dollar cost averaging at these Fibonacci retracement levels, and we just broke down past the 61% right here, where the last place I bought Dogecoin. So, like I said, in a falling wedge pattern, all we have to do is break that resistance going to the upside, and then we can start targeting the previous resistances, something like that. So if we break this one going up, the next spot that I'd be looking at, okay, so let's say we break this trend line going to the upside, right? We'd have to break this Fibonacci retracement level, .248. Once we do that, the next spot that I'd be looking at is .294. If we could break that one going to the upside, then I'd be looking at the next one at .339 and or this trend line right here. The other thing that I've been looking at, or I looked at a couple videos ago, is this channel pattern. Let's see, this channel pattern right here. Basically we have resistance up here as well, this big downtrend. So if we break above this, okay, so let's say we break out of this falling wedge pattern going up, this line might give us some trouble. If we could break above that, then we could really start getting more bullish. But yeah, I don't know, this is just something that I've been looking at the past couple days, is this little falling wedge. Let's see if it can perform. Technically, a falling wedge pattern is bullish. We just have to break that resistance. So let's see. It's not guaranteed to go up though. Sometimes they do break to the downside in a bear market, and we have been kind of trending down pretty hardcore the past, I don't know, since, what is it? When did we start going down? Since like December, we started kind of trending to the downside. So that's basically what I'm looking at. That falling wedge pattern mostly on the daily time frame. Let's see if we can hold support right here, maybe bounce off it and then bounce going to the upside. Also in the falling wedge pattern, just to note this, is sometimes it does do a fake out to the downside, like it'll break below it and then it'll come back up, break that resistance, and then the falling wedge pattern will still be intact. we did wick below this resistance right here, just to note that as well. We had this little wick going to the downside right here, and then we had a big wick going to the downside right here. The other thing that I was going to mention is, like, let's say we do get a wick. Like I said, maybe we'll hit .185, or we have this bottom right here sitting at around .204. Let's see, what is it? .201 approximately. So that could be another bottom that we could come down, wick down to, and then pump back to the upside. We might not make it all the way down here, but yeah. I mean, basically, until we break this downtrend going to the upside, though, we are trending down. So, yeah, we're basically waiting for a breakout of these two lines right here, this support line and this resistance line. If we break up going to the upside, then, like I said, I'd be kind of looking at maybe .339 potentially, maybe, or come back down and maybe hit this Fibonacci retracement level. Maybe then get a bounce. We're not guaranteed to do that either, but that's just kind of what I'm thinking, and what I'm hoping for is that we can break this falling wedge pattern and move up right here. All we have to do is just break that resistance. We have this resistance right here. If we can break it going up, then we can start getting a little more bullish. And the other thing with these Fibonacci retracement levels, sometimes we do something like this. You know what I mean? Where we come up, find resistance on it, come back down, get support on it, find resistance. Not always perfect, but sometimes we could do that too. So, like, let's say we broke out up here, and then we found resistance, came back down, found support, and then did something like that. It might not be like this direct, like, move to the upside. It's possible that we could do something like this. You know what I mean? And then start to go up. But I don't know. That's just what I'm looking at, what I'm thinking. And like I said, we're on the daily time frame right now. I think this is the main chart that I'm paying attention to, or the main time frame that I'm paying attention to is the daily. Let's take a look at the volume real quick, just because we are getting declining volume. So declining volume, there's not a lot of volume right here where we're at right now, and we have been moving down. So maybe that bear run is almost over. But just because we're not getting a lot of volume is my reason behind that. Let's take a look at, I never look at this indicator, but just for real quick, the RSI. All right, let's take that off. I'm gonna have to take off some of these other indicators real quick. 1 second. Something like that. Okay, and then we'll go to RSI. Okay, I was just wondering if we were getting like maybe like a bearish or bullish divergence. So the RSI, one thing you could look at with the RSI is the price moving down and the volume. Okay, so we take a couple things into consideration. Okay, so that we're getting a trend going to the downside right here. We're also getting a downtrend on the daily. What I was thinking is, are we moving up while this is going down? And it is, the RSI is following pretty much the trend. And then the other thing, okay, so the volume, if we're getting declining volume, then I like looking at the RSI because basically in the opposite direction though, usually when we're moving up and we're getting lower volume, I like looking at the RSI because sometimes you can see that it starts moving down. Like it's not continuing to push up while the price is moving up. Sometimes it starts to push down, especially when the volume is low. What I was hoping for is that we would look at the RSI and more people would be buying at this point. Let's see, where are we at? From right here, kind of going up, it does, I don't know. That's why I don't really love looking at the RSI. Sometimes I like looking at it for divergences. Like I said, if the price is trending down and then the RSI is trending up, then that's a bullish divergence. If it's going the opposite way, like let's say the price is moving up, but there's low volume, and then the RSI is trying to trend down, then that's a bearish divergence, which means that there could be a change in direction soon. But I don't really see that right here on this chart, on the daily time frame. So I guess it's not really whatever. But that's kind of one way I look at the RSI. Yeah, I just wanted to throw this on your guys' radar. falling wedge pattern. Let's say if we could break that resistance going to the upside. If we break it going down, the next spot that I'd be looking at is the next Fibonacci retracement level to the downside at .185, or we could possibly be looking at this little wick to the bottom right here, sitting at around .282. That could be another bottom that we could. That could be another place that we'd be looking at for support, potentially, or another little bottom. But I think .185 would be a reasonable target if we break this resistance going to the downside. If we break if we break the support going to the downside, if we break the resistance going up, then I'd be looking at maybe like this Fibonacci retracement level going to the upside, just because it lines up with this trend line, something like that, kind of. But yeah, that's basically what I'm looking at right now. Let's see if we could break that rising wedge going up. Let me know what you guys are thinking though. If you guys like the video, hit that thumbs up. If you want to check out the last video, check it out right here. And if you're new to trading, check out this playlist right here. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.